Welcome, everyone, to Easy History Podcast. Today, we're going to be time traveling.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, back to ancient Mesopotamia.
Okay.
Modern-day Iraq.
Gotcha.
Nestled between
the
Tigris and Euphrates rivers.
Right.
This area wasn't just home to one civilization.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a civilization factory churning out empires and innovations.
Wow.
That still blow our minds today.
Yeah, that's what's so fascinating about Mesopotamia. It's like it was almost destined to be a cradle of civilization.
Really?
Yeah, you see the land between those rivers.
Okay.
The Fertile Crescent, perfect for agriculture, reliable, water-rich soil.
Right.
Boom, you've got food surpluses.
I see.
That means a growing population and people with time to do more than just survive.
So basically, good geography equals good civilization prospects.
Exactly.
And it all kicks off with the Sumerians,
Yeah.
right? So they were like the OG Mesopotamian innovators.
Yeah, exactly. Picture this. It's 3100 BC.
Okay.
Cities like Uruk and Lagash, bustling. They weren't just villages.
Right.
These were organized city-states, each with its own rulers and complex systems.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. They also invented cuneiform writing. Imagine trying to invent writing from scratch.
I can't even imagine.
What kind of symbols would you come up with to represent sounds and ideas?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's mind-blowing. I can barely draw a stick figure.
Right.
But they didn't just use writing for grocery lists, did they?
Oh, no, this was next-level stuff.
Yep.
They recorded everything. Religious rituals, business deals,
Wow.
even their epic myths and stories.
Really?
And speaking of epic, we can't forget those massive ziggurats towering over the cities.
Well, cigarettes always make me think of ancient skyscrapers.
I could see that.
What was their purpose exactly?
Yeah.
Were they just for show?
Definitely not just for show. These were temples dedicated to their gods.
Oh, wow.
But also centers of religious and political power. To build those things,
Right.
they needed serious architectural and engineering skills. It makes you wonder what it would have been like.
Yeah. To stand at the base of one, looking up at its sheer size.
I'm getting chills just thinking about it. So we've got these advanced Sumerian city-states thriving for centuries. But like every good story, there's a twist coming, right?
Right on cue.
Yeah.
Enter Sargon of Akkad,
Oh,
a ruler with a vision for something even bigger. Around 2350 BC, he unites the Sumerian city-states.
Wow.
And bam, the world's first empire, the Akkadian Empire, is born.
Hold up. He just unified everyone.
He did.
That's a huge power move.
Yeah. It wasn't just about conquering land, though.
Okay.
Sargon standardized weights and measures,
Really?
set up a postal system,
Wow.
and get this trade route stretched all the way to India and the Mediterranean.
That's incredible.
That's a seriously impressive network for that time period.
So what were these ancient Mesopotamians trading across such vast distances?
I think textiles, precious metals, spices.
Oh, wow.
Agricultural products.
Yeah.
It makes you realize.
This wasn't a simple barter system. They had complex production logistics and even diplomacy to keep this trade flowing.
Okay, so the Akkadian Empire is booming.
Yes.
But empires don't last forever, do they?
You're right about that.
What happened next?
Well, empires rise and fall, the classic pattern. After the Akkadians came the Babylonians.
The Babylonians.
Yeah, who rose to prominence around 2000 BC.
Okay.
They took the idea of a unified empire and added a twist, a whole new level of order, thanks to one very famous king.
Wait, I know this one. Cue the dramatic music.
Oh, yes.
The Hammurabi time. That code of laws was a big deal, right?
Absolutely. King Hammurabi's code was a game changer.
Yeah.
It was like the legal playbook for everything. Trade disputes, family matters, even punishments for crimes.
Yeah.
Some were based on the eye for an eye principle, which might seem harsh to us now, but for them it was about creating a predictable and stable society.
But was an eye for an eye really considered fair back then?
Yeah.
Or was it just about maintaining order?
It's a tough question.
Yeah.
Ideas of fairness evolve over time.
Right.
What's fascinating is that Hammurabi's code laid the groundwork for legal systems for centuries.
So the Babylonians took the unified empire concept and added legal structure.
They did.
Pretty impressive. But I have a feeling things are about to get a little more intense, right?
Let's just say the next group we're about to discuss were masters of warfare.
Oh, boy.
Get ready for the Assyrians.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
The Assyrians, they were known for their military might, but they were also incredibly organized.
Really?
Oh, yeah, and efficient. They developed a complex system of roads and communication networks, allowing them to control their vast empire with remarkable effectiveness.
So they weren't just brute force.
Yeah.
They had strategy and infrastructure backing them up.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder what life was like for the average person under Assyrian rule.
Well, it varied, of course. For the elites, life could be quite luxurious. We've uncovered palaces with incredible artwork.
Oh, wow.
Intricate carvings. They held grand feasts and enjoyed elaborate entertainment.
Sounds fancy.
Yeah.
But what about everyone else?
Yeah, for the common people, life was likely much simpler. They focused on agriculture, trade, and craftsmanship. They lived in homes built from mud bricks.
Right.
And while they may not have had the luxuries of the elite,
Yeah.
they were resourceful and adaptable.
It's fascinating how these ancient civilizations managed to thrive
Yeah.
in such challenging environments.
Yeah.
Speaking of challenging, let's talk about the Assyrian military.
Okay.
They were famous for their chariots and siege weapons, right?
Yes.
What made them so effective in battle?
Well, their military prowess stemmed from a combination of factors.
Yeah.
First, they were highly disciplined and well-trained.
Yeah.
They also adopted and adapted new technologies.
Okay.
The chariot, for example, allowed for rapid movement and shock attacks,
Interesting.
while siege weapons like battering rams and siege towers
enabled them to overcome fortified cities.
It's like they were constantly innovating and upgrading their military tech.
Yes, they were.
Did their innovations have any lasting impact?
Absolutely. Their military strategies and technologies influenced warfare for centuries,
Wow.
shaping the course of history in the region.
So the Assyrians rise to power.
Yeah.
They build this impressive empire.
Mm-hmm.
But then what happens?
Well,
Did they just fade away?
all empires eventually face challenges.
True.
The Assyrians overextended themselves.
Okay.
Their resources were stretched thin and internal conflicts arose.
I see.
This made them vulnerable to attacks from rivals.
So it's kind of like the saying, what goes up must come down.
Right.
Who ultimately toppled the Assyrian Empire?
A coalition of forces, including the Babylonians and the Medes, rose up and ultimately brought about the fall of the Assyrian Empire.
Wow.
This ushered in a new era in Mesopotamian history,
Okay.
a kind of renaissance, if you will.
A renaissance?
Yeah.
Tell me more about this resurgence.
Well, this period saw the rise of the Neo-Babylonian Empire under King Nebuchadnezzar II.
Okay.
Babylon was transformed into a magnificent city.
Really?
Think towering walls, stunning temples,
Right.
and of course the legendary Hanging Gardens.
Wait, the Hanging Gardens.
Yes.
Those were one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, right?
They were imagined terraces filled with exotic plants, cascading waterfalls,
Oh, wow.
and ingenious irrigation systems all nestled within the bustling city.
It sounds absolutely breathtaking. What was the purpose of the Hanging Gardens? Were they just a display of wealth and power?
There are various theories about their purpose.
Okay.
Some believe they were built to please Nebuchadnezzar's wife, who longed for the lush landscapes of her homeland.
Interesting.
Others suggest they served a more symbolic purpose,
Okay.
representing the king's power and the flourishing of his empire.
It's amazing how something built thousands of years ago
I know.
can still spark so much wonder and speculation.
Right?
But the Neo-Babylonian Empire, like its predecessors, eventually fell, right?
Yes, even the most magnificent empires are not immune to the tides of history.
Right.
The Persians, under Cyrus the Great, conquered Babylon in 539 BC,
Wow.
marking the end of an era.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
The rise and fall of empires, military might, innovative technologies, and even a wonder of the ancient world.
Yes.
But I'm curious about the people who lived in Mesopotamia.
Okay.
What was their daily life like beyond the grand empires and epic battles?
It's easy to get caught up in the big events.
Right.
But everyday life in Mesopotamia was just as fascinating. They were incredibly resourceful people, adapting to the challenges of their environment and developing innovative solutions to meet their needs.
What kind of challenges did they face?
Well, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers,
Okay.
while essential for their survival,
Like,
could also be unpredictable.
wow.
They experienced periods of flooding and drought,
I see.
which could impact their agriculture and way of life.
So they were at the mercy of nature's whims.
Yes, in a way.
How did they cope with this uncertainty?
Well, they developed sophisticated irrigation systems
Oh, wow.
to control the flow of water
Okay.
and ensure a stable supply for their crops. They also learned to predict the flooding seasons
Right.
and adapt their agricultural practices accordingly.
It sounds like they had a deep understanding of their environment and how to work with it.
They did.
What did they grow in these fertile lands?
Their main crops were barley wheat dates.
Okay.
And vegetables. Barley was a staple, used to make bread and beer.
Beer.
Yes, even back then they enjoyed a good brew.
Wow.
They also cultivated fruits like figs and pomegranates.
Interesting.
And they were skilled in raising livestock like sheep and goats.
Mesopotamian beer.
Huh.
I bet it tasted a lot different from what we have today.
I would imagine so.
Speaking of things that might be different,
Okay.
what did they wear back then?
Yeah.
Did they have fashion trends?
Of course. They cared about their appearance just like we do today. Wool and linen were common fabrics. Men often wore tunics or robes, while women wore long dresses or skirts.
Gotcha.
They accessorized with jewelry,
Nice.
especially the elites who adorned themselves with gold, silver, and precious stones.
I can picture those Mesopotamian parties now,
Right.
all decked out in their finest attire. Okay, so they had food,
Yes.
they had fashion.
Mm-hmm.
What about their homes? Did everyone live in fancy palaces?
Not quite. Most people lived in more modest homes made from mud bricks.
Okay.
These houses were often built around a central courtyard,
Right.
which provided shade and a place to gather with family and neighbors.
It's like an ancient version of a community hangout spot.
Exactly. And remember those scorching Mesopotamian summers?
Oh, yeah.
That courtyard design wasn't just for socializing.
Right.
It also helped with ventilation and keeping their homes cool.
Smart. So
Yeah.
they were resourceful,
They were.
they were stylish, and they knew how to beat the heat.
That's right.
It sounds like they had a pretty vibrant culture, even beyond their impressive empires and technological advancements.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't forget about perhaps their most lasting legacy,
Right.
their impact on the world beyond Mesopotamia.
That's where it gets really exciting. The Mesopotamians weren't just content with building their own civilization.
Okay.
They shared their knowledge and innovations with the world,
Wow.
shaping the course of history in profound ways.
Okay. Spill the beans. What gifts did they give to humanity?
Well, for starters, their invention of cuneiform writing was a game changer.
Oh.
It spread to other cultures, influencing the development of writing systems throughout the ancient world.
So they basically sparked a literacy revolution.
Yes, you could say that.
Did they make any other groundbreaking contributions?
Their legal systems, starting with Hammurabi's code,
Right.
laid the foundation for concepts of justice and law that we still grapple with today.
Okay.
And let's not forget their contributions to mathematics and astronomy.
Wait, math and astronomy?
Yeah.
How did they influence those fields?
Their base 60 system, for example,
Right.
is still the basis of our timekeeping and our understanding of circles and angles.
That's incredible.
And their meticulous observations of the night sky laid the groundwork for later astronomical discoveries.
Wow. It's incredible how these ancient civilizations, separated from us by thousands of years,
Right.
still had such a profound impact on our lives.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling there's even more to this story, right?
There's always more to uncover. Mesopotamia was a melting pot of cultures,
Right?
a place where ideas were exchanged, innovations were born,
Yeah.
and stories were passed down through generations.
Well, then let's keep digging.
Okay.
What other treasures from Mesopotamia are waiting to be unearthed?
One area that I find particularly fascinating is their mythology.
Ooh, mythology.
Yeah.
Now you're speaking my language. Tell me about the Mesopotamian gods and goddesses.
Well, there's Ishtar, the goddess of love and war.
A goddess of both love and war.
Yes.
That's a powerful combination.
Yeah.
What other deities did they worship?
There was Shamash, the god of justice, often depicted holding a balance scale, much like the Lady Justice we see in courthouses today.
Wow, that's a fascinating connection. It's amazing how these ancient symbols and archetypes
I know.
still resonate with us today.
Oh.
Okay, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Tell me more about these Mesopotamian myths.
Okay. One of the most famous is the Epic of Gilgamesh.
Wait, the Epic of Gilgamesh?
Yeah.
Isn't it one of the oldest surviving works of literature?
It is.
What's it about?
It tells the story of Gilgamesh,
Okay.
a legendary king who embarks on a quest for immortality.
A quest for immortality. Now that's a story I want to hear.
Yeah.
What kind of adventures does he have?
It's a tale filled with adventure, loss, and profound reflections on the meaning of life and death. It explores themes that are still relevant to us today.
Such as?
The search for meaning, the fear of mortality, and the power of friendship.
Wow, it sounds like the Mesopotamians were grappling with some pretty deep questions way back then.
Yes, they were.
Did their myths have any influence on other cultures?
Absolutely. Many scholars believe that the Mesopotamian flood myth,
Okay.
in which the gods send a great flood to destroy humanity,
Right.
may have influenced the biblical story of Noah's Ark.
Whoa, that's a pretty significant connection.
Right.
It seems like the Mesopotamian influence is everywhere.
Their culture was incredibly influential,
Right.
spreading their ideas, innovations, and stories far and wide.
It's amazing to think how these ancient stories and beliefs continue to shape our understanding of the world.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling we've only scratched the surface.
There's always more to explore. Mesopotamia is a vast and complex subject,
All right.
and new discoveries are being made all the time.
Well, then let's keep diving.
Yeah.
What other mysteries and marvels are waiting to be revealed?
One area that's particularly intriguing is their art and architecture.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Tell me about those incredible ziggurats.
Okay.
Were they just massive piles of mud bricks?
No.
Or was there more to their design?
These towering temples were not just religious centers, but also impressive feats of engineering. They were built with millions of mud bricks, carefully layered and arranged
Right.
to create sturdy structures that could withstand the elements.
They weren't just functional buildings, though, were they?
No.
They were also works of art.
Absolutely. They were often decorated with intricate carvings and colorful glazed bricks,
Wow.
creating a stunning visual display.
It's hard to imagine the impact these structures must have had on the ancient Mesopotamians.
Yeah.
It must have been awe-inspiring to behold such monumental creations.
They were a symbol of human ingenuity
Right.
and a testament to the power of collective effort, and their art extended beyond just architecture.
Okay, tell me more about their other art forms.
Okay.
What kind of sculptures or paintings did they create?
They were skilled sculptors,
Okay.
creating intricate statues of gods, kings, and mythical creatures.
Wow.
They also excelled at relief carving,
Right.
depicting scenes of battles, hunts, and religious rituals.
I bet those sculptures were incredibly detailed. What kind of materials did they use?
They used a variety of materials, including stone, bronze, and clay,
Right.
and they often incorporated precious materials like gold and lapis lazuli,
Wow.
creating truly opulent works of art.
So they had grand architecture, intricate sculptures.
Yes.
And what about painting? Did they paint murals or frescoes?
While fewer examples of Mesopotamian painting have survived,
Okay.
we do have evidence that they decorated their walls with colorful murals, depicting scenes from their mythology and everyday life.
It sounds like the Mesopotamians had a vibrant artistic tradition.
They did.
But I'm curious about their music. Did they have musical instruments?
They did. They played instruments like lyres, harps, and flutes.
Okay.
Music was an integral part of their religious ceremonies and social gatherings.
It's amazing to think about the sounds of ancient Mesopotamia. What did their music sound like?
Unfortunately, we don't have any recordings, but archaeologists have unearthed some of their instruments,
Okay.
giving us clues about their musical traditions.
So they had architecture music.
Yeah.
It seems like the Mesopotamians had a rich and multifaceted culture.
They did.
But I'm curious about their language. Did they all speak the same language?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Actually, over time, various languages were spoken in Mesopotamia,
Okay.
including Sumerian, Akkadian, and Babylonian.
So it was kind of like a linguistic melting pot.
Exactly. And these languages influenced each other, evolving and changing over the centuries.
It's fascinating how language reflects the evolution of a culture.
It is.
But I have a feeling we've only just begun to explore the complexities of Mesopotamian language.
There's so much more to uncover. Linguists are still deciphering ancient texts,
Right.
piecing together the intricacies of these lost languages.
It's like a linguistic puzzle. But I think we need to take a break for now.
Okay.
My brain is overflowing with Mesopotamian marvels. How about you?
I'm ready to delve even deeper.
Okay. My brain is officially full of ziggurats and cuneiform. But before we wrap up our Mesopotamian adventure, I have to ask, we've seen these civilizations rise to incredible heights.
Wow.
But they all eventually fell.
Right.
What happened? Why didn't they last?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
There wasn't one single reason for their decline. It was more like a combination of factors that created the perfect storm.
Ooh, a perfect storm of history. Let's break it down.
Okay. Well, remember those rivers that made Mesopotamia so fertile?
Right. The Tigris and Euphrates?
Exactly. They were also unpredictable,
Okay.
and over time could lead to a buildup of salt in the soil
Oh.
that made it harder to grow crops, which obviously weakens a civilization.
So the very thing that gave them life also posed a long-term threat.
That's kind of poetic in a tragic way.
It is.
Were there other challenges?
Definitely political instability was a constant.
Okay.
Mesopotamia was like a revolving door of empires with conquests, rebellions,
Right.
and power struggles weakening them from within.
Makes sense. It's hard to build a lasting civilization when you're constantly fighting for control. Did they face threats from outside as well?
Oh, absolutely. Invasions were a recurring theme.
I see. The Persians, for example, eventually conquered the region, bringing an end to Mesopotamian dominance.
So we've got environmental challenges, political turmoil, and invasions from outside forces. Is there anything else we should add to this list of doom?
Well, some historians believe that the rigid social structure of Mesopotamian society might have also played a role.
Okay. How so?
If you were born a farmer, you were likely to stay a farmer.
Gotcha.
This lack of social mobility could have made it harder for them to adapt to changing circumstances.
So a lack of flexibility in their social systems might have hindered their progress in the long run. Fascinating. It makes you wonder what could have been different if they'd been able to overcome these challenges.
It does.
But even though their civilization eventually faded, they left behind an incredible legacy.
But a doubt. Their fingerprints are all over our world. Think
Yeah.
about it. The next time you check the time, read a book,
Right.
or even admire a beautiful building,
Yeah.
you're connecting with the legacy of Mesopotamia.
Wow, that's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Your impact is so much greater than I ever realized.
It's true.
It's a reminder that even civilizations that crumble leave behind knowledge, ideas, and inspiration
Yes,
that can shape the course of history. Mesopotamia might be ancient history,
yeah.
but its echoes are still felt today. Well said. Thanks for joining me on this incredible deep dive into ancient Mesopotamia.
Yeah.
It's been a truly eye-opening journey. I feel like I've learned so much, and I'm definitely going to be looking at the world a little differently from now on.
The pleasure was all mine. And remember, there's always more to explore. History is full of surprises, and each discovery brings us closer to understanding the fascinating story of humanity.